I think I'm on. Good evening, everyone. On this Wednesday, or no, is it Tuesday? Tuesday. Does everybody have their drawing numbers for their 1.6 million? Oh, man. 1.6 billion. Oh, man. Yeah, it's a lot of money. I have mine. I went in and I asked for a $5 quick pick. And then she tells me, oh, it's $2 for each one. So I told her, give me a $10 quick pick. So I have my numbers. I'm ready to win. Boy, I tell you what, I've been watching the Treehouse Masters. Haven't been feeling so hot, you know. So I've been doing a lot of laying around. And I was watching the Treehouse Masters. I thought, man, if I win that mega lottery, I'm going to have a Bigfoot treehouse made. I don't have a tree, but I'll have them put it on stilts or something, you know? Hey, everyone. How are you? Hi, Jean-Paul and Connie and Jerry. How are you guys? Yeah, I have a really cool thing I want to talk about tonight. Something everybody can afford, and it's a microphone. Actually, it's like a sound amplifier for less than $10. And I thought, I'm going to share it with everybody. It works really well. And it's something you can hook up to your cell phone or a camera or any audio recording device and set it way away from you. And you can just let it record after you go to bed. And for the price, it picks stuff up really good. I have a video. Maybe I can I didn't prepare where I can put the video, show it or anything, but maybe I can. Hey, James, what's up? And Kathleen, how are you guys tonight? Is everybody ready to win? If I win, I'm going to share it with everyone. I mean, there's not a whole bunch of you, so I could share. We'll have a party somewhere in the world, We'll have big old Squatch. We'll go somewhere real squatchy, and sleep in big, expensive RVs and stuff like that, Wouldn't that be fun? Hi, Ed. What are you doing, man? Yeah, somebody put on my Facebook. So, right before the drawing, you make a list of all your friends and family and call them up and ask them if you could borrow $500. And then if you win, once it gets out that you're the winner and people start calling you, you can look on your list and see who is nice and who is naughty, I just thought it was funny, but I wouldn't do that. But yeah, let's see, what is everybody doing? Somebody said pray for Ed. Ouch, dudes. Oh man, I'll be praying for you, Ed. I'll be praying for you, man. That when they were trying to figure out my leg, they were trying to tell me, after they blocked the artery in my leg, and after they did surgery to remove the blockage, killed all the nerves, right? But when I went in there, they didn't want to admit that the damage was done from no oxygen to the leg, right? All the nerves are dead, but they don't want to admit that was the problem. So they were saying I had back problems. And they do this thing called a needle or EMG with a needle test. Oh my God, dude, that hurts so bad. So I could just imagine if they're going to stick a needle right there. Like I was threatening the doctor. I told him he had to sit on me to actually do the needling that he called needling. And I was threatening him. I told him, man, when you get off of me, I am going to get you, man. It hurts so bad. And when he got off of me, I jumped off the table and promptly fell on the floor and couldn't get up. But boy, was I mad. Boy, does it hurt. So I'll be praying for you. I'll be praying for you. Greetings, Brown Dwarf. How are you? And Pam. And wow, let me see. A whole bunch of people. Yeah, man. I've been having trouble, health problems, and I wanted to go on Saturday, Friday night, and then Sunday, I was thinking about it all day. Like, man, I need to get on and talk to everybody and just chat, even if I don't have anything, I just want to get on and have fun and chat with you guys. But I actually have a cyst. It's called an osteoma, and it's in this sinus. And every year when the weather changes, either the spring or the fall, it feels like somebody has an ice pick or a knife stuck in my eye, and just really blazing headaches. And then my wife, we have these little dogs that my son left, and we take care of them. And my mom's adopted them. Everybody adopted them, little bitty dogs. And there's nothing wrong with them except for they don't like to go outside, if you know what I mean, right? So you can tell you have dogs when you open up the front door. The smell will knock you out. And my wife does, and our carpet's really old. The landlady's willing. We change carpeting all throughout the house, and I want to do it in the living room, but we just can't right at the moment. And Christmas is coming, so we're going to be nice to her. So they decided to clean the carpet. And man, oh my God, that the moisture and the smell and whatever that guy used in the carpet, it really, it felt like I got shot and half of my head was blown off. And there was no way. Even today, I've been pretty bad. But only I can't go without, I start having like withdrawals of not being on the internet and talking with you guys. In fact, I was at Walmart earlier. I need to do a shout out to Robert and Rachel. Hey, Spider. She's a cashier at Walmart, and I had to take my mom over there. And I ran into Rachel and had my picture taken and everything. And I told her I would do a shout out. So shout out to Robert and Rachel. How are you? I hope you're doing fine. And I want you to call me with your Bigfoot sightings, even though you told me you don't want to be on the radio or with nothing. Come on, come on. So let's see. Man, so, I don't like doing news or anything, but we're being invaded, you guys are being invaded. Like, what's up with all these people coming, all of a sudden, like, isn't this so convenient? Like, what is this? We're being invaded. Those aren't just people running away from their country. Something smells fishy about the whole thing, And I don't watch the news. I just see it on Facebook. I get on Facebook every so often, and that's all I see, And then tonight, I want to give a shout out for BZ's Saloon, Kaiser Chef, and I've had him on the show a few times. Him and BZ went to Afghanistan for a few months, so he's been like quiet. Well, tonight at 8 p.m. at BZ's Saloon, they're going to have Kaiser Chef, and he's going to talk about his trip to Afghanistan and what was going on, and maybe a little bit of politics, of what's going on. And it should be really interesting, and I want to catch that. So that'll be 8 p.m. Central, 11 p.m. East Coasters. And so I want to give you guys all a heads up for all the people that know Kaiser and BZ, and that's going to be tonight. So I want to catch it. So I'm not going to stay on past 8 so that I can catch the BZ's Saloon. And so I thought I would give you guys all a heads up on that. How's it going, Cryptid? What's up, man? Oh. Yeah, Kaiser's back. It's so nice. I haven't chatted with him. Before he left, we were Skyping every day, pretty much. And only I've been out of it. So I haven't really kept contact with anybody. But I did see that come across, and I do want to catch that show and listen to it. Even if I can't watch it, I'll listen, Hey, Paul V. What's up? And Ghost Wolf. Hey, what are you doing, man? Yeah, so I wanted to share this thing with you guys. It's this really cool. It's less than $10. Okay, less. Am I like too hot on the microphone? Let me see. No, I look all right. Okay, so it's less than $10, and it's real sensitive, and it's this little doodad right here. When you turn it on, it lights up. I don't know if you see it. You can get it at Harbor Freight for less than $10. I think it's $8 and something, $8 and some change plus tax. In California, it'll put you right at $10, at least where I'm at. But this little, it's called a Listen Up. That's what it's called. I guess it used to be sold on TV things. But you can take a cord like this, this is like a 10-foot cord that will go into either a cell phone or a camera, and you can or any audio device, and you can, when you're out squatching or anything really that you want to catch audio, like if you live in the woods already and you want to find out what's going on while you're asleep, you could take that out and set it out somewhere, and actually like lock your valuable, like your camera or your cell phone or whatever. You could put it in the car and lock it and just open the window a little bit and run the cable out, and just roll it up to the cable, and then just set that anywhere. It's only $10, and it will pick up. Like I could go outside right now and I can listen to neighbors a half a block away and hear everything they say with it. And that's like at half volume. If you turn it up, it's the cars and things going by it'll blow your eardrums out. So it's really for people that want to go squatching on a budget and catch pretty good audio. That thing is pretty good, and it rivals all the different microphones that I have that I've used over the years. And the reason I really wanted to talk about it is because of the roars that I put up, that I redid. It sounded like it was underwater. It sounds way better when it's not going live and stuff like that. But the roars are there. If I would have had that microphone, we would have heard the roars a lot better. It picks up that kind of stuff real good. But that's something that this right here, in case everybody just came in, and it just has one plug, and this is the microphone right here. The little black part is the microphone, and when you turn it on, it lights up, so it's on. And I think it takes a 1 AAA battery, and it'll go all night. It'll actually last longer than your cell phone or your camera or whatever you hook to it that you're gonna record with. And it picks up stuff really good. I used it the last time we went squatching, and I wish I would have set it outside. We were in like a tent trailer thing, so I used a long cable and I set it next to the tent part of the trailer and put it in the camera and recorded. But we were dueling snorers on each side of the tent trailer, so I heard a little bit of noise, but it was drowned out by two, fat dudes snoring all night long. And man, it was like stereo, who could snore the loudest. It was pretty bad. So I couldn't share that with everybody because of it, Yeah. Hi, Jan. How are you? How's everybody? And Woolly Booger, what's up? Everybody's jumping in. See, that's what I'm saying. You could, and hi, Kathleen, and yes, you could eavesdrop on a Bigfoot. Like if they're coming in, Like what happens when you're out there is you'll hear them talking, but they stay just out of range where you can't hear them, you can't make out anything. And they do it on, they do it on purpose. They just stay out of earshot almost, when they're chattering and stuff like that. So you need just that little extra bump. And some people have, we've used them, the dish, that has a microphone in it, or a bowl. I can't remember what it's called, but that works good. It's directional though. So it only works really good on which direction that you have it aimed at, and Bigfoot can see it really good. It's like you're not going to hide that, like this thing right here. You can hide that. Like you could put a piece of black tape over that little light. You could black that out. Like you could take black polish, and paint over that, and that's going to go away. And this thing could be sitting out there and they'll never know. I mean, they won't know what it is, and they won't see it until they're right up on it, until you already heard everything. And if you're out there, you can put your recorder, like I said, I should have left it, my camera in the actual camper, and then put that outside, because I had 10 feet of cable. I could have put it way over. The only thing is, I would have still caught all the snores because it was a tent trailer. So I could hear things outside really well, just like if you were in a tent. And so tent trailer stuff, it doesn't work that great, really. Yeah, the Bigfoot art, that is, I'll put a link to the really nice person that painted that for me. I forget all the time and I don't put the link, but I'll put it up, because she'll paint anything for anyone. And I told her I would share it, and I did. Her name's Rosa, and she lives in New York, I think, somewhere over by New York on the East Coast. And she does it right. It's all oil. It's not watercolor or anything like that. So when you order whatever it is, she loves to do paranormal stuff, unicorns, anything, really cool. But she does it right, where she'll do what you want on there, and then she won't just send it to you until it's all dried and all that stuff. So it's cool. She's really nice and has a big heart, and she's real talented. Yeah, it really is. It's a good price for it's a good price for a little amplifier for audio. And I play with it all the time, like when there's like a lot of people around, you can actually direction it, like for a TV or something. So you could actually have your TV down where nobody could hear it, and you could hear it. Or you could hear people whispering, 30 or 40 feet away. They could be whispering and you could hear what they're saying with that little mic. It's really cool. Yeah, man, it's really worth it. It's really worth it. And like that flute too, that's handmade. That's Tony did Spirit Feather. He did that, and he even will carve things. I'm not sure how, if he does it like all the time for people, but only one of a kind stuff, always valuable, at least to the person that gets it. It's real valuable. And she's pretty talented. I mean, she put my face on one of them. At least that's what it looks like. All my grandkids are like, "Hey, she made you a Bigfoot." I was like, "Yeah, cool." Hey, Cold Warrior, what's happening? Oh, and Alan. Hey, my man. Good name. I like that. And Sam Squatch, what's happening? Paul. How are you guys on a Tuesday night? Are you guys ready for the drawing? I'm gonna win, and I'm gonna have him build me a Bigfoot tree house. You know, he'll even have to build the tree first because I don't have a tree. So I'm gonna have it. I mean, that's so much money. I mean, I could have a tree shipped in probably, and who knows? I'll just buy a ranch with a tree on it, huh? Something like that. I mean, that's a lot of money. Woo. Yeah, Kaiser and BZ is going to be on tonight at BZ's Bobcat Saloon at SHR Media, Sackhead Radio. So you just type in Sackhead Radio or SHR Media at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 11 Eastern, and Kaiser and BZ are going to be on it. And Kaiser's going to talk about his trip to Afghanistan, from what I understand. And this ought to be really interesting. I mean, I can hardly wait myself to do this, to hear it. Yeah, don't feed the Squatches, you guys. Don't feed the Squatches. Hi, Rachel. I shout out Rachel and Bobby. How are you? I said I would. Told you I would. Yeah, don't feed the Squatches. Don't feed the Squatches. Not a good idea. Because they're really, I mean, they'll be nice to you like a bear. I mean, if you start feeding a bear, the bear will be nice to you until you run out of food. And then it'll eat your arm, your leg, They'll find just little pieces of you in the poops. I mean, they get really nasty when they don't have the food that you've been feeding them. And I totally don't believe in feeding them at all. Don't even start doing it. And I mean, even like if it's like a habituation around your house, for sure don't do it. You'll be moving, but if you do. Cool. I was wondering about that, Rachel. Like, I was hoping you got off in time because I want to see BZ and Chef tonight. Cool. Aw, man, I'm sorry, Pam. I'll be praying for you, okay? I'll be praying for you, Pam. And this weather change has got me. It's been tearing me up. And every year it does. Every year I always have problems. I was at the doctor yesterday talking about it. We were talking about it, and no, I haven't seen that book, James. 50 Years with Bigfoot? Man, I'll have to look. I have a whole box of Bigfoot books. I'll look and see if I have it. I might have it and might have read it. I've read so many books about the subject and giants and aliens and the latest one the latest one I read was Ron Moorhead's Quantum Bigfoot. That one's a really good book. If you guys haven't read Ron Moorhead's new book, it's not new now, I guess, but his latest book, The Quantum Bigfoot, pick that up because and I should get him on here and talk about it because when I first started doing when I first saw Bigfoot, let's put it that way, and after I got over my fear of what they might do to me if I went to the mountains, because I'm telling you, when you, it's a life-changing event to see one. A lot of people, be careful what you wish for when it comes to that, because they are big and scary looking. And I don't care what anybody says, I've seen several now, and I have not met one or really saw one that was not scary, okay? Even their silhouette, like seeing them in the moonlight, and that's still scary because they're 10 feet. At least the ones I've seen have been 10 feet or better, and 6 feet wide, and even if you can't see their face, you already could see the outline of their body, and it is not something that you're going to play around with, you know. So ever since, though, when I first started, I thought they were flesh and blood, and I thought you could shoot one and kill it, and maybe you can, you know, maybe when they're in this realm, they're still susceptible to being killed, but they're able to, I don't know if they're still in this realm, but they're able to do things that go against physics. And I mean, as the speed of them goes against physics, I've never seen anything go so fast, so smooth, so agile, so powerful. It's scary. And hey, Daytona, what's up? How are you? Yeah, he Ron lived by me too. We actually went and interviewed him at his house a couple times. He was right outside of Yosemite in a place called Mariposa. He had a restaurant and everything over there. So he's we've met up, and probably about 5 times with Ron Moorhead. He has a great wife and family and everything. One time we interviewed his daughter and him, and I mean, he's really a good guy. And he's been at it longer than me. I mean, he started running into Bigfoot and recording them, recording them. Like, I don't know what kind of microphone he used, but it was not too shabby. But I bet this one would do it better. But he has some good recordings. But he started. I mean, he was the same as me. They're flesh and blood and all this, until they start doing things like disappearing on you right in front of your eyes. Like, we watch one run and phase out and phase in and phase out. And I've heard so many stories of it. And then they do things like, there's some hunters up here a couple of years ago, and they found one in a tree watching them, and they're hunting. Okay. So they freaked out and they started shooting at it up in the tree, way up, like it was 20 something feet up in the tree. And it didn't go to the ground. It stayed way up in the tree, and it was jumping from tree to tree, and it got away. And they were running and chasing it and shooting at it, and it got away tree to tree to tree. Like, what could do that? Spider-Man? Only Spider-Man could do that, right? Only in the movies. But these guys do stuff only in the movies you could do, or cartoons even. It's like they do stuff that doesn't compute. And I think Ron Moorhead is onto something with that. Ron Alec, now I said his name, he's actually one of the medicine men around here, that he told me about the war with the Indians, and with the local natives, and the Bigfoot, like 200 or 400 years ago or something like that. He said it is anywhere between 250 and 700 years ago, but it was all oral, passed down orally. And I've heard the story now a few times from different elders and stuff like that, and it always is the same, always. Yeah, he's really smart about Bigfoot. So if you ever get a chance to, you run into him, I know he does events and stuff like that. In fact, I'll be at an event November 3rd in Jackson, California. That's over by Tahoe. And I think I'm speaking around, I think 5. I think I have the 5 o'clock slot, 5 p.m. But I'll be there all day. I'm gonna drive in I already rented the car and everything. I was going to stay, but I don't have the cash to rent the hotel room. I was going to stay for the whole 3 days, but he gave me a little table. So I'm going to show up. I'll be in there about 10, 11, something like that, and set up a little table, and I'll bring some stuff with me, that everybody could look at and sit and chat with everybody until it's my time, to get up and talk about Bigfoot. And so I'm looking forward to that. And then afterwards, I'm just going to pack it up and drive home. It's only like a 4-hour drive. Not too bad. Renee Holland. You felt like Renee Holland? Let me see what your comment was. Da-da-da-da. I don't know. Renee Holland actually is one of the nicest people you'll ever meet. I hung out with her specifically with her for a few days. We, riding around, shooting, finding Bigfoot, and it just so happened that we would wind up in the same car and riding in the back seat. So it would just be me and her, and out all day. They call it wheels up. So you leave the hotel, wheels up, 7 o'clock in the morning, and then we would get back to the hotel like 1 in the morning. So it was like all day, and then while we were shooting, we would hang out even then, because not all the time are they on the camera. So there would be several cameramen, and they would do segments with each one, and then some of them all together. But only I got to hang out with her a lot, her and Bobo and everybody. And she's really cool, really, really, really cool. And I actually know, but only she probably will say it's not so, but she actually does believe in Bigfoot, but she has to be the skeptic. But she was raised in the Dakotas. I can't remember which one, north or south. And she grew up there with her dad and learned all this stuff. I mean, she's a biologist. She does fisheries, and I mean, she's really smart about, fisheries and animals, birds, like, birds of prey and stuff like that. I mean, she's a wealth of knowledge. She's a scientist, a real one, a real bona fide scientist. And she was really fun to talk to. Really fun. Hey, MK Ultra, what's up? How are you? How are you? All right, my man. We'll see you later. We'll see you later, Daytona. I'm glad you made it through the hurricane, buddy. All right, Cryptid. We'll see you, man. You take care. I know I'm getting ready to go too. I got a little bit of time left, though, like about 30 minutes. So really, I don't have nothing left. So whatever you guys want to talk about, I am open for anything. I just wanted to hang out with you guys. Otherwise, I would be flat on my bed nursing this headache on this side that I still have, that is just absolutely splitting my head apart. But I can't handle going that long without hanging out with everyone. And I wanted to introduce I've actually been wanting to talk about that microphone for 2 weeks, but finally I got it in there. Dr. Meldrum is so cool. I've hung out with him a couple of times. We were helping raise money for the Bigfoot Museum in Felton, California, with Mike Rugg. And we would go up there and draw, talk about Bigfoot and hang out with everybody. And and Dr. Meldrum came a couple of times. they did an actual event with the actual film of Patty, and there is that guy. Oh man, I feel stupid because I can't remember his name. William. He's an old film guy. He actually did the Monster in the Black Lagoon, and he does costumes. William no, not Is it Munns? Might be Munns. I don't want to say it wrong because I respect him and he's a really nice guy. But we hung out with those guys and talked about the Patterson Gimlin film and why it's real. You know, really, tonight it's about DNA tonight. Man, I think far as I know about, for my own personal knowledge, that firsthand knowledge, or really secondhand, I guess, when Mount St. Helens blew up, I had a friend that was he was a hot shot, and I don't know if everybody knows what that is. It's a firefighter that works for the federal government, and they fight fires, and they get dropped in by helicopters, and they're highly trained firefighters, EMTs. This guy was EMT. I mean, this is like 80 or 1 or something like that. And Mount St. Helens blew up, and he got called over. And when he got there to the place that he was to report to, there was military all over the place, and they held him up at a gate, or a makeshift gate. And he said it was about 75 yards off to where he was supposed to report to, but they held him at the gate. There was a helicopter sitting there just idling, and on the ground there was this big cargo net with a pile of what he thought were bears in the net. And they told him to hang out right there, and he just talked to the soldier and everything. And he said about 20 minutes the things powered up and took off, turned towards him and lifted off, and then he said it had to go pretty high. The net was actually hanging down pretty low from the helicopter, so it rose up pretty high up, but the net was only like 20 feet off the ground, 15 or 20 feet. He said it was just above his head, and it was lifting off and going up, but it went right over his head, and that's when he seen hands and feet hanging out of the net, and actually could make out some of the body parts of Bigfoot, face and elbows and stuff like that. He could see it. And so I know for a fact they know since then. And I didn't believe in Bigfoot at the time, so I was making fun of him. And I feel stupid now, but at the time I thought I was pretty smart about it, and he didn't tell me anymore after that because I wouldn't quit. And I feel stupid. I could have learned a lot more if I wasn't being such an idiot, with him. But later I had a weird tent incident where me and my wife went deer hunting, and the tent disappeared. The floor was there, but the tent was gone. And there was UFO sightings all weekend long, and one Bigfoot sighting right in our camp. And we even made fun of her, the person that saw it. But we were supposed to be there 3 days, and we wound up only being there one night because of all the UFO activity and the Bigfoot sighting and my tent going missing. But when I went back and was talking to him about it, I was a little more serious about paranormal and Bigfoot and whatever was going on, even though I thought it might be a hoax. But he told me a little bit more about, they had like a triage unit or something, and they wouldn't let him get near it. But when you're over there, and your EMT, you get, when it's break time and dinner time, and you get to hang out with these guys, and you find out that they're working on Bigfoots that were hurt, not dead. And from what I understand, there was a Bigfoot and some military, and they were going around looking for live ones and helping them. And that's what he said, and that's when it was like, you know what, you had way too many beers, man. You need to, you need to chill. That's like way past what I could believe. Now I believe him fully, but back then I thought it was pretty funny. You can only take so much when you're a non-believer. And I'll be checking out. That. Oh yeah, that's somebody I haven't never talked to is Ketchum. I've talked to her over. She's my friend on Facebook, and I've talked to her like that. But I always wanted to. I've talked to Ron Moorhead a whole bunch of times because he was part of that DNA thing with her, and but I'm way interested in it because we brought DNA, and it didn't go very far because it wound up being mostly human, and then only just a small percentage of it was unknown, but they were trying to say that we messed up the DNA with our DNA, corrupted it or contaminated it. I think that's what they used. And we told them, if you have a problem with us and our DNA, take that up with our guy that collects the DNA, which was Mickey, and 17 years CSI for the local police department. And I mean, whenever we had anything that was maybe have DNA, or we had the face print on the window and all this stuff, and we knew there was DNA, so we stayed, we got a little ways. We didn't get right up on it, but we stayed back from it. But it was really, I mean, there was snot rolling down the window, and he collected the DNA and took all the pictures. In fact, when he took the pictures, he collected the DNA, and then when he took the pictures, he went home, and a couple of days later he called us up, and he wanted to meet with us, and he had comparisons of animals, and because he didn't believe in Bigfoot, and he I mean, he went out with us and he heard noises and stuff like that, but he's really like he's an evidence guy, right? So there had to be evidence for him to believe in Bigfoot, and he did not. There wasn't enough evidence, and I mean, we had castings and all that kind of stuff, so he was leaning towards the Bigfoot, but still could be faked, right? But the DNA you can't fake, and the picture, when he took the picture of the window of the smears on the window, everybody called smears. I mean, when I did Finding Bigfoot, they made fun of me, and I wasn't even really supposed to do Finding Bigfoot. Okay, I worked for them, and I wasn't even supposed to be on the show. I was just working for them, and somehow they found out about the windows and the face print and handprints and thumbprints on the truck and all that evidence, but then they didn't want to say it was Bigfoot. Even though I showed them everything I had, they wanted to make fun of it and say that it wasn't Bigfoot, it was a bear or something. And I don't hold it against them, because I don't think it really was them that, like Cliff and all those guys. I actually believe it was the producers and stuff like that they want to make great TV, so they don't tell the truth all the time, okay? And they mix everything up. So, but when we told him to take it up with Mickey, and then Mickey comes in with these pictures, and he takes a bear. He's like, okay, what animals are in the woods that could put a print on the window? and it wasn't human. Okay, the DNA came back not human. It first came back mammal because they didn't do a really big, deep test. So just to see if there was even DNA, they just did a test, and it came back mammal. And then they did it again, and it was human. But they said, though, we messed up. So then they took all of our DNAs and took it out of the DNA mix, and it still came out human. But he came in with these pictures, and he had a bear, and he had the picture of the face print, and he had all these lines drawn from the lips and the nose and this and that, and how it matched, and some of it matched and some of it didn't. And then he had a mountain lion, and some of it matched and some of it didn't. And there wasn't really much else, a cow, what it 100% matched to. Okay, 100%. You won't believe it, but it was a gorilla. And he's like, there's no gorillas. There's no gorillas in the woods, but it 100% matched the lips. And he was saying the reason that he believed us and he finally believed in Bigfoot was because the lips, you know how you have the little lines in your lips, the little lines? It had that, but only they were this wide. Okay, the lips are like 9 inches or something like that wide, big lips. And when he took the pictures and blew it all up, he could see the lines in the lips, and then the nose and everything, the skin, the way, the little skin lines where the snot came out, and he could see the nose and the whole face, the eyebrows, everything. And he's like, you guys you can't fake that, right? There's no way that you went over there and made that on the window, and you would have never thought to put the lines in the lips. So Mickey became a Bigfoot believer at that time, which I thought was pretty cool, because he still has not seen a Bigfoot, right? He only seen evidence of a Bigfoot, but he said that he could take this Bigfoot, what he has, his evidence, the DNA and this and that, and he said that if he went to a court, he could prove without a doubt there's a Bigfoot. Using castings and the evidence that he collected, he could prove there's a Bigfoot, which is very interesting. And I'm missing what everybody's saying. Hey, Jesus, what are you doing, man? It's good to be back. I'm going to try not to be gone as much, but I'm going to tell you I'm having pretty serious health problems with this tumor. I went to the doctor yesterday, and we were talking about this tumor, and I've known about it for like 3 years. I had another problem, and they had to do a CT scan on my head, and they found this tumor by accident. And the tumor is actually in this sinus right here, and it's a bony growth tumor, but it's like really, really close to my brain. And the other part of it is just almost touching my eyeball, on the back of my eyeball, or somewhere on the top up here. And they told me they could remove it, only they didn't want to make a mistake. Like, it was better to leave it until I couldn't handle the pain anymore, because to actually get it out, or to take it out, they had to cut me from ear to ear, like, and then over my forehead like that, and then pull the skin down, and then cut the skull. And then there was no guarantee that they wouldn't accidentally hit my brain or my eye and blind me or brain damage me. And so they said that we got to leave it, just leave it until you can't take it. When it feels like that you just can't take it anymore, then we'll do it. Then it's worth the risk, because you can't live with it anymore. And so that was our conversation we had with the doctor yesterday, was, am I at the point where I can't live with it anymore? And my wife's telling me, she's watching me suffer, so I'm not at the point yet, because like I told him, uh, every season change, I get problems with it. Like maybe things can't drain, and I get infections inside there because the stuff gets stuck in there. So it's not like the pain is getting. It's like all of a sudden, wham, pain for days. And then as the season, like winter sets in and we're not through this change thing, then it'll only when the storms come through is when I have a problem. So I'm not ready to go get cut from ear to ear and have my skull cut yet, not yet. Trying to catch up on chat here. Hold on. The one you saw was the backside, and it looked just like a silverback. I just stood there looking at it, made me a believer. I believe you. And they do look like gorillas. I mean, they really do. But it's hard, hard to tell people that but only like the ones I saw. Uh, the very first one I saw was like a man. I mean, when it was bright enough where I could see it good, it looked more like a half man, half ape, especially the muscles and stuff like that. But it was walking like a man and swinging its arms, and it wasn't really fat, like Patty. It didn't have a big butt. It was like what would you call trim, lean and mean. Had really long legs, and long arms. But it was like a bodybuilder, it was like real wide, and then it went down to this narrow waist. And I mean, he was lean and mean, and but it looked like a man from a distance, and all I could see was a silhouette because it was dark. But as it lightened up and got brighter, then I realized it was covered with fur, and only right here around its eyes was the only place that you could see any skin. Everything else was black, completely black, like a Labrador, a black Labrador. Yeah, I could use all the prayers. Man, I could. Man, I hate Meniere's. I have Meniere's too, Connie. I've been suffering from Meniere's since like my early 20s. Only now that I'm in my almost 60, I'll be 60 in a couple months. Actually, for the last 10 years, I haven't had vertigo, but I don't have hearing. I just have a constant roaring in my ear. But that's actually how I knew that I was going to have vertigo. Was you start getting a full stuffy feeling in the ear, and you're kind of like, man, what's wrong with my ear, and it would start to sound like a roar, like a low roar. A couple of days, like 72 to 24 hours before the vertigo. And it took me 10 years to figure that out, though. That once I figured it out, then I'd be prepared with meclizine or antivert, whatever you want to call it, and a big bottle of it, and it still wouldn't keep you from spinning. Though I've sat on the side of the road because I lived in the mountains for hours because I didn't make it home before I started the vertigo. So I would just park on the side of the road and just sit there. And when I thought I could drive, I would take off driving. And there's a lot of times I had one hand over my eye, and your eyes just want to go shoop shoop. Man, I'll be praying for you for that. It is terrible. It's like being drunk, but you're not drunk. Man, I won't give up, Sam. I will not give up, bro. Never. They'll have to bury me and it'll be done. I feel bad though, because when I started doing all this, I mean, this is why Jeff got rid of me, to be honest. right? I have all these health issues, and he felt like it was holding him back. But I'm like a fighter, you know. I don't just lay down and that's it, you know. I go for it, and I've been like that all my whole life. I mean, I've been all around the world just because I believe I don't want any woulda, shoulda, couldas. You know what I mean? Like when I finally do get where I have to lay down or whatever, you know, sit down and can't get up again. I don't want to be sitting there going, man, I wish I would have did this or that or the other thing. I want to come back. I want to have memories. And there's some things that I'm kind of glad I got hurt, because if I didn't get hurt, I wouldn't have been squatching. I would have been running casinos, and I wouldn't know any of you guys. I mean, maybe you might have heard of me, maybe, you know, I don't know, but I loved doing casinos, but because of getting hurt and disabled, it brought me into a whole different other world, you know, and I've been having way more fun. I mean, less money, barely able to make it financially, you know, but fun wise, oh my God, you know, I'm having so much fun. And I wish I could do more. That's the only thing. Like, there's that mountain to climb, you know, and hit that trail and stuff like that. But I'm trying to find other ways to still do those things and be disabled. And I want to share with other disabled people that want to just lay down and let their disability get them. Don't. And the people that aren't disabled, and you like when I was doing the casino and working 14 hours a day for 6 days a week, and sometimes 24 hours a day, you know, depending on whatever was going on, I thought I knew my family, and I didn't know them. I thought I knew my kids. I didn't know them. I thought I knew my grandkids. I didn't know them. When I got disabled, I learned I know them now. I absolutely know them. So if you're a real working person, slow down sometimes and smell the roses and really get to know your family and your wife. I mean, you think you know them, but if you're spending, you know, all of your time working, and I understand it's important and everything, but nobody's going to die if you slow down. Nobody. And you're going to get to know them and go after some of your passions. Like if you're just working and all work and no play, like make some time to play, because you're going to be sorry. You might be sorry tomorrow. Something might happen, and then you're going to be sorry that you didn't do some of those things, that you let the boss direct you, you know, or whatever, you know. So make time, because you never know, like when, I mean, it could be anything, you know, you don't know, nobody knows. I mean, it's so important to stop and hug everybody and get to know them, or get that boat, or get that Harley, or jump out of that airplane, or whatever, you know, whatever it is that's on your bucket list. Try to make a couple of checks off every year. Don't put off and put off and put off, because you'll never, ever, never get to it. And then you'll be sorry. You'll be sitting back going, dang, I wasted my whole life for, you know, whatchamacallit manufacturing or whatever. You know what, you know? Man, you don't want to do that. Yeah, I was holding him back from being famous, according to him, but, you know, that's basically what I was holding him back from. I'll keep you in my prayers, Ed. You're always in my prayers, anyways. All you guys are in my prayers, the ones that I chat with all the time. Even the ones that just watch and don't chat, because there's a lot that do. I pray for you guys too. I pray for everybody. That's one thing I have. I don't have money and stuff like that, but that's one thing I have. I can share with everyone completely, and I know it benefits you, everyone that I pray for. But I also want to be on the receiving end of that too, because it works. Even your prayers work. Even if you don't think they do, they do. And I feel them, and it helps. So don't stop praying for me, and I'll not stop praying for you. Sometimes I wonder, Paul, like who does, who, if would he sign that? Would he? I don't know. And like if you want something bad enough, like all them people that are rich and famous right now, they signed, and now they're all not happy about that. You know. That's right, Sam Squatch. There's no price. Prayers are free, but they're powerful, powerful things. Uh, Money can't buy those. And I tell you, they work. It works. Prayers work. It's like the most paranormal thing in the world. And you can even Google that, prayers and science, and it'll come back that doctors have tested that over and over, and they did tests where some people had the same things going on, and some of them had prayer and some of them didn't have prayer. The people that had prayer got better faster. Some of them got healed instantly. Doctors have no idea why or how it works, but it works, and it's scientifically proven even. So no matter what you believe, pray for me and I'll pray for you. I'm pretty sure, Ghost Wolf, he would. But it doesn't mean he's not a cool guy, and I like hanging out with him and stuff. Just I don't know, I don't think you have to be like ruthless, or I mean, I understand about drive, wanting to make it. Like before I got hurt, I was probably the most driven person you ever met. I had a ranch with a worm farm making like 13,000 a month, and a job, and raising 6 kids, and climbing the corporate ladder. And at one point I was actually the food and beverage director of 2 restaurants and 2 bars, the computer administrator for the entire casino, and that means the intranet and internet and anything computers, and the marketing director at the same time, right? All 3, and also holding down, a ranch with 6 kids and all kinds of ducks and geese and cats and dogs and horses and all kinds of stuff. I was driven, and I wish I'm still that way. I'm still driven to get out of bed and get up and go Bigfooting and all that stuff. How's it going, Kyle? I didn't see you in there. How you doing? It was fun. I actually enjoyed Paranormal Central, and the hardest part, like one of the things that nobody knows, when I first started doing that, when Jeff first asked me to join him with it, and I told him I was afraid I didn't want to, because I didn't want to let him down because of all the problems that I have, right? I mean, there's days I let my own self down. I plan things and then I can't do it. And I let my own self down. So I didn't want to let him down. And I knew there would be times where he would plan things and I could not do it, because there was times I planned things and I couldn't do it, and it was my own plans. So I told him that straight up in the first part. I told him, like, I don't want to commit to something that I can't follow up and follow through with. So, we went back and forth on that for a week, and he's like, it'll never be an issue. Well, after 7 or 8 years, it became an issue. It was sad, but only, yeah, it became an issue. And it wasn't my issue. It was his issue. He had an issue with it. It was like the producers aren't listen. Producers don't want a uh, disabled person. And I was thinking, really? I worked with Animal Planet and I was disabled and Jeff didn't have anything to do with it. I worked with Nat Geo for a month and I was disabled and they worked around it and they helped me. They actually, I had a great time with Nat Geo. I'm like, there, and those were producers and everything. I didn't have a problem. And so I don't know. I really don't. That's exactly right, Paul. You never know when you're going to fall off the porch and bump your head or get T-boned in your car. Driving is like the worst thing nowadays. Oh my God. Everybody's texting and driving. Like what? Just yesterday, there was some accidents here in my town where they hit pedestrians, right? And the actual Mounties or highway patrol, state cops, they're saying in one way it's the drivers need to watch out for the pedestrians, and quit texting and stuff like that. But at the same time, the pedestrians probably could have avoided it if they weren't walking around texting and they were paying attention. So like nobody's paying attention, just, yeah. I thought it was pretty funny. It wasn't funny they got hurt, but I thought it was funny, they're telling people, everyone, start paying attention when you're driving, walking. Like, what? Come on. That's funny. See, that used to be me, man. That used to be me right there, Three Flash. I was that guy. I really was, man. And I wasn't measuring myself to anyone. That was something some people do, is they measure their self, like how they find somebody in there and they measure their self to their neighbors or whatever, keeping up with the Jones or something. I wasn't that. I was like, I'm going to be number one. That's all there is to it. The Joneses are going to have to keep up with me because I don't care what the Joneses are doing. I was that guy, man. I was running way ahead of everybody, and it was fun. I'm not gonna lie. I had a lot of fun. There's nothing like being in charge of a casino and having all the clout and everything. Oh man, talk about clout. Like going anywhere first class all the way, everywhere you go. It was fun, real fun. I recommend it. Like if somebody's healthy and they have a little marketing savvy, go get in the casino and have some fun. You will have some fun if you're creative and entrepreneurial and not afraid to take risk. You'll do very well. And that would be me. I am not afraid of risk. I'm not afraid of failing at all, because if you fall, you're falling in the right direction if you're going forward, right? But if you fall backwards, now you're going the wrong way. Got to fall forward. That's how you learn. You didn't get up, you didn't start running before you learned how to crawl and walk first. There's always bumps and everything in the road, believe me. I need a sidekick. Yeah, I need somebody with a good car, man. My car's falling apart all of a sudden. It's turned this year, it turned 20, or no, 18. It turned 18 this year, and it has 108,000 original miles, but like it needs a timing belt. The power steering's leaking. I had to rent a car so I could drive 4 hours, but I mean, been a good car. Believe me, I've had it a long, long time, but only I don't have the money to like put into a new one. So actually be praying for me to get a new vehicle or some kind of vehicle come my way, or the finances to fix this one, because it's starting to really. And I used to be a car nut and hot rods and stuff like that, and work on cars. And I used to love doing trucks. Okay, like I had a 57 Ford with a wraparound window. I had a 52 Chevy long bed fleet side with a wraparound window. I mean, I loved cars, Volkswagens, all that stuff, and I would fix them up. I can't work on cars no more. So I'm really stuck like Chuck over here with a messed up car. And I know, I have the desire, I have it all here where I know what to do. I just, my body won't do it. And that drives me nuts because it won't do a lot of stuff I want it to do anymore. Man, 20 minutes. It's going to be BZ and Kaiser Chef on in the BZ's Bobcat Saloon. 20 minutes. Yeah, but you're way over there, Ghost Wolf. I need somebody close. I want Ghost Wolf to be my sidekick though, because who better? I mean, he's cool. Really cool. I mean, like the days that we got to hang out, it was like the coolest days. Like I haven't had that much fun since, really. To be honest, you know. 2 hours is a long ways when your car won't even go across town. I'd have to totally be relying on you, and that is one thing I don't do very well, is uh like have to be relying on people. I never was in that position, and all of a sudden, really not all of a sudden, the last 10 years I've been not able to do things on my own, and I have to ask for help and stuff like that. Oh my God, you guys. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about, but if you're a person that's been self-sufficient and really carrying 20 something other people and taking care of everybody, foster kids and your brothers and sisters and everybody living with you, and other people just that are down on their luck in life and needing somebody just to care for them and help them get off drugs and stuff like that. I was that guy that helped everybody. I mean, there was people always sleeping on my floor. I had campers and trailers on my ranch that I let people stay in for sometimes a year. I still even have one. I have a nephew that's been with me. He's now I don't know, I lost count of how many people that I've been taking care of. Even when I can't even hardly feed my own self, I still am able to take, and everybody, like my family, they still see me as the guy, that can carry them, when they're down on their luck. And it's really hard for me to ask and then accept help. I feel I don't even know how to even. All I can say is I love everybody and I thank them so much, and it feels so weird. But I also know, not like how I'm beginning to look at it though, is all those years that I took care of everybody, I know what it feels like to be a blessing. Okay? To have the extra money to give people, or to have a place for them to stay, or be able to fix their car, or buy some groceries, or pay their rent, or whatever it was. I know how that feels. And it was a blessing to me, and I felt really good, So how I look at it now is when you guys and other people help me, I have to look at it like I know they're getting that feeling of, and I'm really appreciative even though it feels weird that I'm on the receiving side of it, and I never have been that, I have to learn to be that, and I have to learn to do it gracefully and right, and pray for the people that more blessings come on them that help me, because they're actually getting that feeling that I used to love to do, and I still do, really, but only not as much as it used to be. But yeah. No, I'm going to win that 2 billion tonight, and I'm going to have a Bigfoot, a Sasquatch treehouse. And then it's going to be huge, and I'm going to invite all you guys to a party. We'll have a live band that I'm going to put together called the Squatchers. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. It's really hard, Paul. I totally understand, because you measure your worth by your how much contribution I mean, if he's like me, then that's how you measured yourself. And when you all of a sudden you feel worthless, totally worthless. I actually went through 5 years of depression. I locked myself in a room with a computer in a little corner in the dark, and I didn't even want to see anyone. And I played virtual reality games like MMOs, like Star Wars and World of Warcraft, where I could go into the game and I could disappear out of the world, right? So my reality was running around in games, and that's actually how I coped. And otherwise, I probably would have committed suicide or something. But I finally learned to open up and let people into my world and let them care for me and all that. It was hard, though. It's really hard. Yeah, Ryan. I heard he's doing really well. I still I keep up with him. I haven't talked to him in a couple of months, though, but I heard he's doing good. Right on, rolling. That is a real great goal. I try to do that, Ghost Wolf. I try. And I don't like speak the gospel. I live. I try to let my light shine. I try to be, and I stay talking to God all the time. I talk to him in the car, I talk to him in the shower. I when I'm laying on the bed watching TV and I can't get up, I'm talking to God a lot. And there's actually some miracles that I should share with everyone sometime through that. It's hard to believe, though, almost about as hard as to believe a Bigfoot. There's Bigfoot and stuff, but God's real, and he really does miracles still to this day. And I've been a recipient of them, and he cares so much that actually for that 5 years that I was locked away in the dark, he fed me, kept the internet on, he paid my rent. He made sure that I could sit in the dark and not lose my house or anything. And I was behind nearly 5 years in bills. Nobody kicked me out. I mean, I was totally insulated. And the house is in my name. I should have been kicked out. I was way over 3 years behind in the rent. But the landlady never ever threatened me. When I would bring it up and tell her I was so sorry, and she would say, "Don't worry, you'll catch up." And that's what she would tell me, even though, and I would go back in the dark going, "No, yeah, right. No faith here," but I've gained a lot of faith through that. Sure, man. I'll be your first guest. I'll be a regular if you want. I like your name, MK Ultra. I love it. I know quite a bit about that, but I don't talk about it so much here. Ah, man, it's almost time, huh? What time? 10 minutes. 10 minutes to BZ show. Yeah, I go overnight squatching. Yes, I do. I still do. I just came back 2 weeks ago. I was out for 3 nights, or 3 days, 2 nights. You know what? I'll help you. Are you a friend of mine on Facebook, Three Flash? I'll help you with worms anytime. And I've been thinking about doing some videos on it. I just don't have any worms to do. I had something started with my nephew, and he can't stay focused. So, even though that, like, I mean, if you start out really small and you make all your mistakes and stuff, and grow the farm and let the farm grow and pay for itself, you can start off really cheap. And within a year, you could be making 1,000, 1,200 a month. By the end of the next year, you could be near 9 or 10,000 a month. I'm not kidding. And it's not hard. It's really easy. The hardest part is not killing the worms, because we want to mess with them so much. You have to leave them alone. Just feed them, water them, and leave them alone. Let them do their thing. I'm not sure, MK Ultra. That's something I've dug and into the internet and books and stuff like that. I'm not sure. Just like maybe they do have something, just like they have with the aliens. I think they made an agreement with the aliens, and I actually think there's a link with the Bigfoot and the aliens. It's something that we could talk about. You know, yeah, BZ Bobcat Saloon, SHR Media. We ought to be all tuning in over there. Well, God showed me something, Paul. He showed me a vision that we're going to be triumphant. Death has no hold on us. And there's power in the blood. There's power in the name of Jesus, the most supernatural power, more powerful than anything on the earth. And when the Holy Spirit comes on us and we actually start having faith, there's going to be miracles like you never saw before. Hospitals emptying of people. There's going to be people like me walking over to the hospital and praying outside the hospital that everyone be healed, and everyone will be healed. I saw that in a vision God gave me, and I have a feeling we're getting close to that. And almost as much as I'm ready to go drive over to the hospital and start praying out front. And maybe I should be doing it. I mean, I feel it that strong. Oh yeah, check out what Trump's doing. God put Trump in there. Believe me, he did. And a lot of people hate that, but you watch, man. He's smoking out all the evil people, and it's already started. And I think we were created for the earth to rule the earth, and we gave up our birthright, MK. And Jesus came back and bought the birthright back, but only he hasn't come back and claimed it back, his earth back. But at the same time, he gave us authority over it. Those things, the Bigfoot and the aliens and all that, they're not what we think they are. That much I've learned, and it's fun to talk about and stuff. But I actually believe they were here. They're actually cast to here, and it wasn't theirs to begin with. It was ours. It was created for us, not them. But they're stuck here. They don't fly around from world to world to world. They're stuck here. Okay, 6 minutes to the BZ Broadcast Saloon, man. I gotta get. But it was fun, man. You guys cheered me up and everything. I had a good time. I'm going to try to be back like a lot more often, and I just can't do a schedule. I wish I could. That's one of the reasons why Jeffrey got rid of me, because I'll say I'm going to be on and then I can't. And I hate letting you guys down as much as I hate letting Jeffrey down. It's a letdown to me too, but I'm not going to be gone like more than I'll never go longer than 8 or 9 days. You know, I'll force myself to sit down and I'll just pop a few more feel good pills and stuff and sit down and chat with you guys, even if I have nothing, because I love chatting. You guys have really good questions and stuff. You pull the information out of me, and I love that. Yeah. Well, I love you too, Juice. I love you a lot. And God bless you too, 450. And you didn't miss, Steve. I love you, brother. I will. I will stay positive. I'll always be positive, you know, always. It makes my wife mad, you know, that I power through stuff. She wants me to not, you know, she's like, go lay down. You know, it's like, no, you know. And I probably should take the advice, but I don't. And that's just how it is. Okay, you guys, it's time to go check out BZ at the Bobcat Saloon, SHR Media. Go check him out because I'll be in chat over there. We'll see you in just a minute at the Bobcat Saloon.